Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today I am going to work on a church arrangement. It's a little different. They wanted all red roses. We're actually making two matching arrangements, but today I'm going to make one on the video and then I'll make the second one in a little bit. But I'm starting out with a plastic liner. This is just a black plastic liner. I have filled with fresh floral foam. It has been soaked and I taped it into place. Now I have filled the reservoir with water. So it is ready to go. It will last a long time. I'm going to start out with some leather leaf fern and I am going to green out my container with my leather leaf. So I'm just taking my floral knife and I'm cutting those stems and tucking that stem right into that floral foam. Now I'm going to pull down this wreath so you can see what I'm doing here because it's hard to see. I'm going to move this over. So when you make a church arrangement, you are making a one-sided arrangement. That means that all of the flowers are going to face the outside. A lot of times when we make like a birthday arrangement or something like that, it'll be all the way around. But when it's a church arrangement, nobody's going to be on the back side of the arrangement. So you are putting all your money on the front so that all your money is showing, if that makes sense. So I am just taking my leather and I'm greening it out in a fan shape. Again, that just means it's going to be flat on one side and have all of its shape on the other. And I actually really don't want this lazy Susan. I'm using about 1.5 bundles of leather leaf. All right, I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to cover those mechanics. Now, anytime you're making an arrangement and it's one-sided, you definitely need to cover up your floral foam that's showing on the back. Cover all of those mechanics. It's just important. It just finishes the arrangement. And you definitely need the arrangement finished. Make it a point that you never leave the backside unfinished. And it's not that it has to be pretty. It just needs to make sure that it's covered. Okay. So there's the back side, here's the front. Next we're going to come in with some cocculus. Cocculus is a foliage that is beautiful. I have, I'm not sure where it's grown, but I think it's so pretty. So it's a really large stem of greenery. I'm going to take and strip off some of the bottom leaves. Again, I'm just cutting that stem just like I did the leather leaf. Now the reason I'm stripping the bottom leaves is because I don't need leaves coming down that far on the stem. All right. There's our finished foliage. Next, we're going to come in with our roses. Now, I have pre-wired the roses and I counted them out to make sure that I had the correct amount. We have 30 stems. I find find it's so much easier to go ahead and count out the number of flowers that you need before you start designing, because it's just going to take extra time to count and recount and count and recount. What's the name of that speckled rose?
Speckled rose, speckled heart rose.
Black Panther.
Is it Explorer or
That one that's different.
Black Panther.
You're right, Red Panther.
So this rose variety is called Red Panther. It is a beautiful red rose. It does have like little splashes of lighter red or a pink. Really, really pretty. So they have all been wired. And so we are going to start. Now we here at Flowers by the Bunch like to wire our roses. And if you've watched any of my videos, you've seen me wire roses before. We just take a small piece of wire and pierce the calyx and then just wrap it around the stem. This just guarantees that that little head is not gonna dip. And so I just like that little extra insurance. I'm gonna take that stem, cut it at an angle, and tuck that rose right down into that floral foam. Now, when you're making an arrangement of all the same variety, I usually kind of just go in a pattern. So I like to do, I like to start with some height and then just kind of work my way out. So slowly but surely, I think this one might be taller than that one. Not really. So you can see how I'm just going to kind of work in a fan effect. But I want to just make sure that I have the flowers all the way through that arrangement. So slowly but surely, that one's a little long. I'm just going to add each stem. Now I do this a little different than if I had mixed flowers. I would start with my line flower first. But because we're not using any line flower, we're only using roses, I just do the same thing that I would with the line flower. I kind of mark out the size of the arrangement, and then I slowly fill in with the roses. And so taking my floral knife, I just cut each stem and I tuck it deep down into that floral foam. Now it's always important that you make sure that you are sticking those flowers pretty deep down in that foam. You do not want them to work their way out. If you just poked it lightly down in there, with it being delivered and moved and all the things, the flowers may come loose and fall out. So you want to make sure that you push your flowers pretty deep down into the foam. And so you can see I'm just continuing to fill up the arrangement. Now I have 30 stems, so this is in honor of a 70th birthday. And so she wanted 70 roses for her mom's birthday. And so in order to do that, we decided to do 2 altar arrangements. And that would be 30 stems in each arrangement. And I may have just gotten that a little crooked. Pull him out.
She's grabbing okay.
And if there are any petals that don't look pretty, just go ahead and pull those petals off. You're not hurting your rose. Ooh, those are beautiful roses, aren't they? I love that they've got variations of red in them.
Okay. Great. Not this, sir. Appreciate that.
All right, so that is 30 stems of beautiful red panther roses. Now I'm going to come in with some green dragon. Green dragon is it is a type, I would call it a type of filler. It is green and a foliage, but I use it as kind of a filler. So I'm just taking my stems, cutting those at an angle, and I'm just going to nestle that right down into the roses. Now I will recount these roses to make sure that I have 30 stems. It's always good to recount because if you're anything like me, you can make a mistake. So I'm going to recount just to make sure because it was very important that we had 70 stems. So I'm going to recount. I don't want to short the arrangement. I love the frilliness of the green dragon. I think it really finishes off this arrangement, but does not take away from the roses. And there is our finished red rose altar arrangement. Guys, thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. That helps people to see us. If you have not already subscribed to our channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button right down below. If you'll hit that bell, it'll give you notifications for when we have a new video up. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon.